Introducing Austin Scott, Caleb McCurdy, Drew Morgan, and Chris O'Neill. Saw, dude.
Welcome back to the news. Today we have a very interesting story on modern storytelling, Lion King. I'm here with Caleb McCurdy as we discuss these questions. Okay, so was there more than one original story?
There was not. The only original story was Hamlet.
Okay. So how many cultures do you think had the same story or the same basis?
Well, it was around the European culture in general.
So how are they similar but different?
Well, so they both had the same overarching theme where there were royal families and then their father, like Simba's father was killed, and then also in Hamlet the same thing happened. But Lion King was different because it was a much more happier film through Disney, and Hamlet was a sad ending.
So it had to do with modern storytelling.
Yes.
Very interesting. So how has Lion King impacted our society since its release?
Well, Lion King was released in 1993, and it was pretty eventful in that time. And there was just a rare natural disaster, or not many big changes at all. And then Lion King shows how society functions with people in charge and people beneath them, and it still applies to today through their society. Everyone was power hungry to be on the top, and that accurately depicted the movie when the Scar challenged Mufasa for the throne.
So that gave us an idea what society was like around that time too, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Alright, so how did your film represent its culture of origin, and how did the film change from the original story?
So the Lion King and Hamlet were similar and alike in many different ways. They kind of had the same overarching themes, but like I said previously, Hamlet was in a darker time and darker era, where Simba was a Disney film, and so it was happier.
Alright, we're done, Chris. I'm now here with the man, the myth, the legend, the Drew Morgan. He's going to answer some of my questions. First question, what traditional archetypes are shown in the film and how are they represented?
The Lion King contains many archetypes throughout the film, but we're going to highlight a few of them. As one, the setting of the Lion King shows a near perfect community of animals with a perfect environment. The sun is shining and it represents happiness throughout the animals. And also, there's a comparison between the Lion King and Hamlet, the original story. The archetype shown in both stories is a prince that is drawn away from home who goes on a journey to learn about life.
Very interesting. So how have the archetypes changed over time, and especially how has our view changed over time of these archetypes?
Archetypes were believed by Plato, the guy who came up with archetypes, to be mentally imprinted on his soul before he was born. There are now more than one idea of archetypes. One idea is archetype is something that basically stands for another object, so just a symbol. And the other idea is that an archetype is a recurring symbol that shows up throughout a film. I'm here with random here. We've got Austin Scott, and Austin's going to answer some questions about trends in storytelling. Austin, what are the trends in modern storytelling, and how have they changed over time?
Well, there's been a lot of changes and trends of modern storytelling, but something that happens a lot now is revealing the unknown. That just basically means you learn something about a character that you didn't know at the beginning of the story as the film goes on. Also, the use of video. The use of video is very important because you can say a lot more in a video than you could when you're writing out a book. Like, if you wanted to have a 30-minute video, that might be a 500-page book, and nobody wants to read that. And they've changed over a lot of times because nowadays it deals with a lot of society's issues. For example, there's an upcoming movie called Princes. And in this movie, eventually the two princes will end up getting married. And 300 years ago, people would have looked badly upon this movie.
What's the purpose of the original story that inspired the film?
Well, we don't really know an exact reason or what the purpose was, but in my opinion, I believe that it just wanted to be a dumbed down version of Hamlet that kids could enjoy and that maybe parents could relate to. I'm now here with Chris. Chris is a very interesting man.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright, what is the Disney effect?
Basically, it's making a more horrific or scary story and kind of softening it up to make it more able to tell kids and more kid-friendly.
Alright, so what are some positives on the Disney Effect stories?
It can really reach out to kids and teach them messages that in other stories in the past that might be too harmful towards them and give them the wrong message towards life. These movies can help give them a more positive outlook on life.
Do you have any negatives that Disney Effect could have?
Sometimes it can miss out on the message that's being portrayed, and sometimes nowadays we can be too soft towards our kids and not get them the message.
So what does this say about American culture?
It says that we can't really take something as it is. We have to make it in our own. We have to make it almost a comfort cushion. It can't be the way it is.
And does Disney still follow this model?
Of course, mostly towards money. Disney gains most of their money off of kids. And if parents see a movie that is too harsh for kids, then they won't show their kids, which won't give Disney their money.
Thank you, Chris.